Hello everyone and welcome back to the Emperor BTC channel. Today's video is going to be a quick Bitcoin market update video. We're going to take a quick look at the higher time frame and how it's unfolding. We'll then take a look at the long trade we took, and then we'll finish it off with what we think might happen next. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Starting off on the daily time frame, we have found support in the 85k region towards range lows. From this low to this high, we had a 30-35% retracement, and we have entered that region, got a couple of stabs down into it. This has been quite a common theme in BTC recently. So if we look over here, we have low, high, then low, lower high, higher low put in place in around demand zone. Then we push up, similar here, form a higher high, come back down to put in the higher low in around another key SNR zone or demand zone, and then rinse and repeat. We were anticipating, given the consolidation and deviation above, that maybe we were able to get a deviation outside the range and move from range extreme to range extreme. But as all things in trading, you do need to look for alternative cases. So there was a value play to buy BTC in and around this area, which we did on some spot. But then furthermore, we had a couple of nice confirmation plays. We'll take a look inside here. But as of the moment, we have put in our low here. We came up and put in our lower high within this retracement. We then failed to break below this low, and as it stands, we have broken above the previous lower high. We have tagged the wider ranges fixed volume profiles point of control, which is essentially the area within the range that has the most amount of volume. So we have tagged that region just overhead, and then the next real major resistance level is this 98k to just over 100k region. So let's drop down to the lower time frames and take a look at the long trade we entered. We had two potential scenarios. So we had this nice region where there was confluence between this down close candle before the move up, and then also this lower time frame key SNR zone. They were in confluence with each other, and then also the 618 was in around that region, and then also we had the VWAP of this range also in conjunction. We started to form a nice base here, and the confirmation was if we were able to flip this level. So when we broke above and came back down, that was the trigger to long, with stop losses just below this low. And then of course you could ladder in, take profits in these regions. So of course that worked out nicely. We also are back above the 2025 yearly open. The other scenario which we were looking is if we had it broke down, we would have had nice confluence in around this 2026 yearly open with the value area low of the wider range, and then of course the 2026 yearly open, and then there is a naked point of control in this region also. So what are we looking for next? So we are above this, I guess, lower time frame range. So we were ranging between this high and this low, and of course getting some support in this 85k down to high 70s demand zone, and we have broken up outside of the range, and as of the moment we are getting a nice key SNR flip. And then there is also a couple of areas we could look for retracement longs. So we have this wider key SNR zone with confluence of this 2025 yearly open. You can see that it was acting as resistance on multiple different occasions, and you can see it was some short-lived support over on this side. So if we were to get back down, we could look for this area to be a potential long zone. And then also I would consider all the way down into this region where we kind of form the base. This could potentially act as support now. And you can see that I've marked a kind of a line here, and I'll show you now. So these previous levels can be important when you move from buy side to sell side on market structure. So you have this low formed here, and then we got this shift on the short term. It was acting as some support, and then we got resistance on it, and you can see there was multiple attempts to break up above it before we actually did. So this level could now potentially become an area to look for longs, even if we were to break down below this range kind of high key SNR level with 2025 yearly open. We could, on the higher time frames, wick through this region, find support here in conjunction with this base price action where price accumulated before breaking up, and then of course there is confluence with a 618 in this region, as you can see here with this orange line. So as of the moment, I'm still leading towards the bullish side of things, so I'll only really be looking for longs. And of course, when we get to trouble zones like these areas that we've got mapped out, I will maybe look to, of course, offset some positions. The next real major resistance level, as I said, is this 99k region, and of course you have the round number of 100k. So this is the real next trouble zone where we could potentially get up into and reject away for a deeper retracement. If we were able to break above this level, well then the trigger again would be to see if we can flip this level, and then from there it is very much a clean run back up to this range high at 110k. So that's all for today's quick BTC market update video. I hope you found it insightful. If you did, please feel free to leave a like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.